Hello, welcome. Uh, this is Craftoria, and I am Cuberized. So, welcome, welcome. Today I wanted to go to Theurgy, which is a magic mod, and talk to you about it and see if we can complete it. In an earlier episode, I did talk about using one of the divination rods, one of these guys here, this one specifically, to go find ancient debris in the nether. So I want to show you some of the other ones and talk about some of the machines and getting the different alchemical sulfurs for different items and then what to do with those. So I did, let me get this gentleman out of the way here. My iron golem that looks like he's made out of bamboo. I did set up a sink here. It does have infinite water if you need to figure out how to do that for yourself. And your sink doesn't have infinite water, I do have a tip on that, so please check that out. I'll put the link below in the description. So I'm setting up a sink here so we can have water. With Theurgy, there's two parts. There's the machines and there's the divination rods. So the first divination rod is actually quite simple. It's just sticks and some kind of a glass block. And then, so that's an easy one to make. I did that one. And as I said, I've already actually made the netherite one. As long as you have this, you will get credit for it, even if its durability is low or not full durability. So, and there's my, we're having an iron golem party over here for some reason. So no matter what the durability is, as long as you have it, it will count towards your quest completion. All right, so first things first. So we have our water. Why do we need our water? Well, we need to have water go into one of our first machines here. So what you do is, Theurgy is all based off of these, wait, wrong one. Well, actually this is the right one, but this is the first machine, if you will. It is the accumulator that uses, well, it doesn't even need to. Okay, so let me start again. So this is the tank that's going to get the liquefied sal ammoniac. Yeah, sal ammoniac. You do not need the actual crystals, these guys, in here, but you will, you just need to pipe in water or bucket in water, however you want to get water into this accumulator. So I'm going to get it in there by using the sink. And I have pipes here somewhere. Yep, right there. So I am just going to pipe in. There we go. I'm piping in water. There's 10 buckets of water in there. It will slowly start filling this up. You can see the pink bar that's going from left to right. It's under the word sal at the moment. So we've got 400 millibuckets of this liquid. When you get a full bucket, you can extract it with a bucket like this. So this is it's this hot pink sort of bucket. And I will get another bucket here to, where are my buckets? Here. So we have over a bucket, so I should be able to get one, and I do. So this will continue on. Once this gets 2 buckets worth, the process stops. But this will hold 2 buckets worth of this fluid. Now, what we do with that fluid. So let me actually put some of these away. The Theurgy uses these braziers, pyromantic brazier, or brazier, depending on how you want to pronounce it. So, where is, that's the mercury one. Okay, so that's doing its thing. Another thing we need to do is things that involve, let me just put down the 3. Okay, so another machine in this is called the calcination oven, and these are actually pretty straightforward to make. You're talking copper, which we should have an abundance of, and a little bit of iron. The This is again just copper and some kind of stone that, you know, diorite works, granite works, stone works, plus a lot of other options you have there. So again, pretty straightforward. Thankfully, this is a very copper heavy mod, so with the abundance we have of copper, that's should be an abundant thing. So this down here, these need to be fed something burnable to be lit. And coal works, mini coal works, I believe wood works. So here's tiny charcoal. So just to show you, here, threw tiny charcoal in. Actually, I threw them all in. So there's one in there right now. As soon as it's consumed, it goes out. This can also here be, these are just wood. Same thing with that. All you have to do is right click in and it will put the combustible item in the pyromantic brazier. All right, so the calcination. So this thing here kind of is pretty interesting looking. What this, I already put it in there. Dang. 1 second, let me get that back. There. So this actually, you're all these little things are giving you components to then be able to create these sulfurs, these things here. So, and when you hit shift, at least on my keyboard, you can actually see a picture of what it is they make. So this one is going to make copper, and this one does coal. So these are the things we need, that the end goal of this is to create these. So we have the first component is this liquefied cell ammoniac. Then we need to get what are called these alchemical salts. So we'll put this here. Then we need to throw in something into there to make the salts. And there's 4 different kinds. So if I search, well, let me just search salt. So these are the 4 salts here that can be made. Strata, minerals, plants, and creatures. So to make this, there's a salt vessel that can be made, but you need salt to make the salt vessel. So this, if you look at the calcination, you can actually see all these different things that you can throw in, and how many of the salt you'll get. So, I mean, looking at this, gravel seems pretty abundant, sand seems pretty abundant, clay's pretty abundant. So these things that are easier to get a hold of, it might be easier to put in 2 gravel to get 2 stratus salts than try to get mycelium to get 2. You know, so some of these things are easier to get than others. Yeah, so a block of clay gets you 4, but a clay ball will get you 1, which makes sense because it's a 4-to-1 ratio. So, and depending on what it is you have, I mean, cobblestone is really abundant. You can just throw it in there. So, with all that being said, let's find something I have in here. I have a lot of this. I don't know if this actually, what this would make. If it makes anything. Yeah, it does. It'll make strata as well. So I have much more of that, so let me grab out a block of that. Okay, so I've got these don't actually have, if you right click on the machines, quote unquote machines, there is no interface. It's not like when you click on any other actual machine where you can go in and see the inventory and add upgrades and this, that, and everything else. It doesn't have that kind of a thing. So with this, you just right click on it. So I've right clicked on it. Now I'm hovering over it, and you can see at the top it says calcination oven 64x netherrack. So it's actually telling you that there's 64 netherrack in there. If I right click on it again, I take them out. So same thing here. If I only want to put in, say, 1 piece, I just right click 1 piece in there, and it's doing its thing. And there's 1 alchemical salt and 2 alchemical salts. So 1 tiny charcoal will burn 2. So that's good to know. So if I wanted to, say, put the stairs in, then it'll keep going. So that's what this one is. So there's a lot of, I mean, you can stack certain things in here in terms of fuel, but if you put in, how can I put this? This will continue to burn even if there's nothing in here to process. So if you're putting in things that can potentially burn a lot, like the difference between tiny coal and coal blocks, it's probably best to do a lot of tiny things and feed it in. There is a way to automate this to actually have stuff be fed in, but again, this is going to keep going even after we're done processing this. So it'll keep burning even if there's nothing to process. So there is a potential waste of fuel. All right, so this is doing its thing, and excuse me, pardon me, okay, out of the way, thank you. So now we've got our liquid and we've got our alchemical salts. So if I right click, I can get the salts out. There we go. And so we have that now. The next thing here, and this kind of walks you through. So here's the first one, getting the crystal, and then this is our accumulator we've already set up. This is the calcination oven, which we just set up. Now let's do the mercury distiller. The mercury distiller, I just show you the recipe here. You need one of these as well, but again, really copper heavy. So it should be easy to do early game if you want to do it. And I have it, I think, already here. I do. I've already crafted it up. So we put this here. Now again, with the mercury distiller, again, depending on what you put in, depends on how many of things you get out. And so obviously if you put in an ore, so you'd have to probably silk touch here to get the actual ore, you'll get a lot more shards than if you put in dirt. And plus you have to put in a lot more dirt. But if you have an abundance of some type of stone or some type of dirt, it'll take, you know, the same amount of time. Obviously you get less every 5 seconds than you would if you put this in, but this is infinitely easier to get, as is this. So if you happen to have stacks, same thing with sand, you can put in flowers or fish or coal. So there's a lot of options here. I'm going to go with, again, something I have a lot of. And I'm going to see mercury distiller. I'm going to see if, as I just saw cobble, so I'm going to go ahead and I don't know if this actually works. I'm going to take it as a no. Yeah, the answer is no. It doesn't go in there. It only goes in here. Yeah. So that's how you can tell if you right click on it and it doesn't go into the machine, it doesn't belong in the machine. So, but I do have a lot of cobble, so I will put that in here. And again, we need heat. Let me get that back out of there. Let's see here. Let's split the stack a little bit. And we'll put that there. So now this will make these mercury pieces. And there's already one mercury in there. Two, yeah, it's going through the stack. So you're not going to get a lot out of this because of the fact that I'm using cobblestone, which is a 10-to-1. So for a stack, I'll end up with 6 and a little bit of cobble left over, which is not bad. Especially, again, because I have thousands and thousands and thousands of pieces of cobble. Okay, so here's where I'm showing you, again, it's continuing to burn here, even though it can't process anything else. So just something to be aware of, that it will continue to consume. So feeding it constantly items into, you know, to be burned is not necessarily the best idea, because it will continue to, as I said, consume even if there's nothing to do here. Actually, let me put a little bit of that back in, because that's still processing. All right, so I have buckets of liquid. I have my salts, one kind of salt. Let me take that out. I've got my mercury shards. And I'm going to take the rest of the cobble out for now. Alrighty, so with the other salts, there's, as I said, there's 4 kinds. So to get minerals, you can, so let's say you want to try to minimize what you're putting in there in terms of valuable things, and cobble's not valuable, really. But you could put other salts in there, the ones we just made, to make the next level of salt. So again, if you want to keep forcing through cobble, which is easy to do without having to go to diamonds or, you know, ingots or coal, just put through cobble, and then you could either then cycle this back through, or you can have a separate machine that takes this and converts it to here. So a second calcinator. It's up to you on how you want to do that. Here, the only way to get plants is to push some kind of plant material through. And as you can tell, again, there's crops, there's leaves, there's saplings, there's just logs. And so again, whatever you have, whatever's easiest for you. If you already have crops set up, I do. So it's easy to run through any one of a number of things here. Especially, if you're also doing R's and you have the mage blooms going, you can run those through, which is, well, it doesn't show you here, but that's an option too. So you have plenty of options. I have a ton of mage blooms upstairs. So there's that. So just to illustrate here, since I have these strata salts, I'm going to put through just 25 here. Oh. We're not going in. Why are we not going in? Huh, that should have worked. Why is that not working? Strata salts. I'm trying to put it in the wrong one. that helps. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so let's put in, say we're going to take and put in 30. Oh, I still have the nether rack in there too. Okay, so now that it's empty, yay, it's empty. Let's put the salts back in. And I put 30 in there, so we can see that there's 30 salts. And let's put in, I'm hoping only about that. And I think it takes 5 seconds. There you go, and there's mineral salts. So for every 5 strata, you get 1 mineral. All right, and that does that. And again, if we went and got other things, we can make the other salts. So in terms of, we've done these. We did you get some kind of reward here, which is exciting. Yes. We've done 2 salts. I'm going to go get the plants and creatures. Let's see here. How do you make the creature salt? Plants to creatures. Got it. So that's another good thing to do. I'm going to clean up my inventory, go get some plants, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back. I have a bunch of these. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. And I need fuel. So while that's doing its thing, taking a look back here, okay, so we're getting those. Let that run for a minute. And while this is here, I'm going to go ahead and grab some more cobble and throw that in. Get us more mercury. Yep, okay. So this is the 3rd salt type, which is plant. And I'm going to go ahead and take the fire off here, and now I'm going to put the plant in, and then that'll be the last one. The last type, which will be animal, or critter. Creature. There it is. All right. So with all of that, let's take a look here. Okay, that gets us that. I should... okay. This is this one. Okay, I'm going to just stash this away real quick. So those are the 4 salts. That's the mercury. I'm going to go ahead and put these back in to make more plant. And I just need coal or something. Let's see what I've got here. Well, I have a ton of planks, so let's just throw that in. This is finished. Yes, that finished. Okay. All right, so that'll take care of that. I'll take care of that. And next on the list is doing... So I need an incubator, the mercury vessel, and the sulfur vessel, because I've already done the salt. Okay. Sorry, I gotta do this here. Oh, helps if I can spell. So here's the incubator. And again, it's not bad at all. We're talking pretty early game things. The gold is probably the most challenging early on. Here's where you need the mercury. So you need to actually create these things before you can actually create, because you need the ingredients. So you need the mercury, you need the salts, you need the other things. So here's the mercury vessel. Already got the salt one, and then the last one is, I just need some alchemical sulfur. It doesn't even matter which one. Let's go with, it's going to grab one. I really don't. Let's, I have 2 coals, so let's do that. Just because. All right. So I have all of those. And that still looks like it's processing, but I will double check. So we'll get that. All right. So we have all of that. We have this. So these sulfurs actually want you to make multiple sulfurs to get the to get it completed. So not something I'm going to work on at the moment. This is a digestion fat. We can make that, and we should be able to make the fermentation vat. So we'll look at both of those next. Here's the digestion. So decorative pot, you may actually have to make if you haven't found one yet, which is not hard to do. It's just bricks. And So that's not bad. This you should already have. Sandstone, I actually don't think I have. And I don't have a decorative pot. Okay, well, I will go make that. And then this is, again, copper heavy with a barrel and one of the alchemical sulfurs. So you can see which one it picks and then, swap it out if you don't like that. I'm going to go with copper, just because. And let me go deal with the decorative pot here. I will be right back. Okay, I just wanted to check one other place where I have decorative things, and I do not have any decorative pots, so I made one. So I've got it. So we go back to sandstone. Really? Okay. Well, let me go find some sandstone. Be right back. All right, cooked up some sand, and now I have my sandstone, and now I should be able to, yes, make that. So, okay. So, is this, yeah, okay, so here's what I'm talking about, where this is done and this is still burning. And again, if you don't have any concerns with it, let it burn, but it would be a thing if you keep feeding it fuel of some kind, that it might not be. You may run out of fuel before you actually finish doing what you're doing, especially yeah, I'm not sure about automating this. I was thinking that was going to be a good thing, but I am not sure now if it is or not. Just because of how it handles consumption of fuel. Okay, there we go. So now we've got our 4 different salts. We have our mercury shards. We have our buckets, and we've got the 2 vats. We've got our 3 vessels. All right, so next on the progression here is we ended up with this. We by accident, because we got it as a reward, so I'll take it. Fermenting starter. So in the vat, you have to put liquid sugar. I think it's sugar, yes. Liquid sugar and something else. And the something else is, whatever is easiest, I suppose. But it's a great way of getting rid of seeds if you have that, or planks you don't want to use, flowers, crops, anything you have an abundance of. So let me put this down. Yeah, and this is you put in, again, where you're going to be using the fluid, and you put in some type of alchemical niter, possibly with purified gold, which we haven't done yet. And then you get something different. So, yeah, it looks like it's taking like 1 precious and breaking it down into 4 rare gems from precious gems. So common animal parts breaks down into four abundant animal parts. Or you could, abundant goes into common. So it's a 4-to-1 ratio to morph things back and forth. If you want to trade up, if you will, you take abundant metals, you put it with purified gold, you put it with the liquid, and then you get common metals. And then, yeah, you can upgrade common to rare and rare to precious. Yeah, it just takes this purified gold. All right, so I will set these. Not sure where. Let's set them back here for the moment. So let's see here. What recipe can we use? And this just takes water. Okay, probably want to put this by the sink. And if I'm smart, I can actually not use another pipe. Alright, so let's... I think I was going to use the blooms because I already have... Oh no, this is... Sugar's good. Sugar's easy. Planks are easy. But I need... I need to get one of these. Hard to see. Wow, okay. I will have to see what we actually want to make. But the fermentant, okay, so planks and sugar. That should be easy enough to do to get this going. And it is with water, so okay. I have lots of planks. And I don't know that I have any sugar, but I should have. Oh, I do. There we go. So if I put planks and sugar, I wonder if it has to be under a wonder if there's one of those that needs to be under there. Okay, safety tip. Let's not drop anything through. There is a book. This is the Theurgy book. It is, I think it's wooden, or book in sand. Book in sand. Here, let's double check. Am I spelling it right? Yeah, there it is. Book and sand to create this, which is handy to have. And it actually goes through and talks about the various devices. So what we were working on was, let's go back to okay. There are ways to speed things up. There are ways to actually automate things. What I was looking for was where... Okay. This is... Alright. And there is a Discord, which is nice as well. Is why this is not Fermentation vat. Not working as I thought. One moment. All right, so this is actually for water. I need one that also uses this. So I'm going to create a second one, just because certain recipes need water and certain recipes need this liquid. So I'm going to create another fermentation vat. Oh, helps if I go through here. All right, so sure, let's do wheat. All right, so with this, I'm going to put it here and see if I can pipe in. Otherwise, I will bucket in. Yes, that's my character farting. Hope you enjoy the farting humor. Okay, I've got 2 buckets in there. So it's nice because it'll actually add more. So let's do this. Okay, so I should be able to put that and that in. And it should do something. It may wait until it has 4 buckets before it does something. So let me actually do it one at a time. And of course I have a whole stack here, which is why. Okay, let's do this one at a time. Okay, now get this out of the way. Do I need... I hate the fact that these things do not have an interface because I can't really tell if it's waiting on something or if I need some way to extract it, which could be as well. All right. Well, this should be making alchemical... So if I look here, this is what I'm trying to get it to do, is do and create the fermentation starter. I just do not know. I may need to have some way of getting this out of here. I will take a look. Either that or it needs heat. And I'm not sure if that's the case either. So... Okay, so reading up here, this is a vat, and this is showing that the vat is open. So shift right click closes the vat and gets the process started. And I think, yeah, so here's what it looks like. So it looks exactly like a barrel. And when it opens, then you can remove the item. So it's its way of letting you know it's finished. So I have my fermentation starter, which you can use to get these niters, which is what we're going to try to do over here, which uses water. So what these are alchemical sulfurs. And what we're trying to get is an alchemical niter. So let's take something Um, let's see if this one can be turned into... no, not seeing it. Yes, this can be. So if you find one of these sulfurs, abundant something, so abundant, let's see, yeah, so we can do that. So we'll use this. So we put this in, and we're going to use our fermentation starter. You don't have to use the fermentation starter, but I don't know if it's going to get picky about one versus many. But let's make sure we're putting in exactly what we need here. Okay, so we've got one starter and one sulfur, which is what we need. And there goes my, and then I close it. Now it should do its thing, and when it's finished, it should open. So we're just going to stare at it for a minute. And there it opened. And then you get your alchemical niter. Okay. The niters, if you look at using this, this is where you take several of the niters and you make something better in this digestion vat. So you go from abundant gems to common gems, and then common goes to precious, and precious goes to rare, I believe. Or is it rare to precious? It's rare. Yes. So you can up it to rare, and then you can up rare to precious. And the niters will allow you to duplicate whatever it is. So that's how that works. And of course, you really can't do anything with one. You need 4. So we can do that. And I'm missing something here. What don't I have? There's the incubator. And that, but I think I'm missing something here. And so sulfurs, so yeah. So I'm going to just stash this stuff away real quick. And there we go. And there. Okay. Still think let's see what is left here to go. The purified gold. So you're taking your any kind of alchemical salts with gold in water in the digestion vat. Okay. So when you're using the vat, do you ever use... Yes, you do. Okay. So again, I'm going to need a similar setup here for the vat. So I'm going to do that as well because I think it'll be easier. Is to set up... do I need to put anything in there? Okay, I'm going to put that here. Yep. So we'll get that in there because it'll keep creating. When these are both full, which is 10 buckets a piece, I'll have 2 buckets in reserve. And then I'm going to go ahead and create another one of these, which I think means I need... okay. I'm going to pause and go make more sandstone. I'll be right back. All right, I made extra, so should not be a problem. Let's go back to the vat. All right. So we'll hook this up to the water. I'm going to put this up here. All right, so this is water. All right, so we've got both of those set up. Okay, what else? Oh yes, purified gold. That's what we were trying to get to. So any of the salts and gold and water. So we do have plenty of, these are the easiest to make, so we're going to go ahead and use this, and I think I'm going to make like 8 of them. And then let's get some gold. And there we go there. So now I should be able to put, let me get this out of the way. All right, put that and that. So I've got my gold ingots, I've got my alchemical salt, I've got my water, and I don't know if this is a... No, it doesn't seem to be. Let's see here. It's water, this, digestion. 20 seconds. Maybe not waiting long enough. $20 is a long time to wait on a YouTube video. Especially if I'm not 100% certain it's doing something. Okay, let's see what else we can work on. I'll come back and take a look at this in a minute. All right, so we've got that, that, and that. So I haven't finished that. So let's take a look at this wand. Definitely not just a wrench. Well, that's easy enough to make. I do have here one of the mercury shards. There it is. There we go. That's still not doing anything. Okay, here are the ways that you can upgrade some of these various machines. So there's filters. And that should be easy enough to make. I'm going to go ahead and take these items and throw them into my ME system. I might as well put the sugar back. Okay, put this here. Okay, so the filter. So there's this. Oh. And you get, wow, 9, that's a lot. I'll take it. And then this is what's used to move things around. So you've got this mercurial wire. Sorry, I'm not doing this through here. See. this. M-E-R. Not even spelling it right. Wow. Okay. Spelling counts when using Minecraft. All right, and then get the wire and you get the node. I think it was called. There it is. So this works by similar to other types of things where you have an input and an output, and then you connect the wire between. So if you want to move items, this is kind of where their automation comes into play. If you want to, although I think the pipes might work as well, but the wires where you can set up and say have an input chest and an export chest or barrel, which is better, and then move things around that way. But that's what those are for. And then you start getting into other sorts of things. Yeah, we were starting getting into flux. Okay, and I'm still stuck on the purified gold. Why this is not working. Unless I somehow digestion, salts, gold ingot, water, purified gold. All right, let's go with one at a time. See if that makes a difference. And I do not believe that there is, as I said, any, well, and let me just double check to make sure this is not a fermentation thing where you have to, oh, you did. Okay, you have to crouch and right click on it to get it to close up. As you can see, open, closed. So same concept with both the fermentation vats and the digestion vats. Okay, now I know, and there it is. It opened up, and I have my purified gold. And then all the niters. So yeah, this is definitely a completion list. So this is something to work through to get all these, to get this. So let's see if we can wrap this up here. Now that we have our gold. There's my control. This thing was called Mercury Catalyst. Yeah, that's a little bit more. Well, that's a little bit more expensive from what the previous machines have been. What? Okay. Helps if I go check and see what it is actually called. Caloric. Okay. And then this is item. Ah, these are the two things I was talking about with the having barrels and being able to pull out of a barrel and then transmit over to put into a machine, or vice versa, pull out from a machine and insert into a barrel. So using these and the wires, which is this. Okay, caloric flux. This I actually have. Let me go grab a campfire. And then it was an item manipulator, I think it was called. No, maybe not. That one. Oh, well, by accident, I got that completed. Okay, and then let me clear up the inventory 1 second. Way too much going on here. Alright. Okay, and here's the wires. There's that. Yes, okay. And the filters. Alright. Oh, yeah, this is, I think, the one I was missing. The liquefaction. If we look at, yeah, I had it in, sitting in my inventory. Oh, it's Lique. So this guy, you're taking our pink liquid and something and getting it into its sulfur. So these are how you create these sulfurs in the first place. So again, we need to hook this up here, which might be a little challenging, or on top of here, maybe on top of here. But I think it needs heat. Let me figure out the best place to put this. Well, if I remove this and stick this here, and I can take this out. We'll find out in a second if this is correct or not. Alright, so I believe this is correct. And then we put... Okay, so this should have... Yes, it does. So if I wanted to use this, as I said, let's see what I'd want to do here. trying to find something that would be something I'd want to duplicate. Probably diamond. Is diamond in here? Diamond ore. But is diamond? Or do I have to have the ore? I may have to have the ore. Which, you know, hey, we can go get. But I just wanted to kind of see if it's... No, I'm not seeing it there, so it has to be the ore. Oh, actually something else. Let's try. Yep, we can do that. I have actually got a few. So let's use another star, because who can't use more nether stars, right? Alright, so let's put this in here. And I'm going to go with we probably need heat. Nope, did not quite get that in there. Let's oh, it's bubbling. I don't know. Guess we can check and see if there's a duration on that. Where is that? There it is. 5 seconds. Well, it was bubbling, so I did get that, but maybe it just wasn't enough oomph. Do I have tiny coal over here? No. Alright, let's try that. Well, Theurgy is interesting. I will say that. I'm not exactly... This seems like it's been more than 5 seconds. So let's steal the coal out. Oh wait. I just got it. I just had to be patient. It's there. It's in my hand. I'm still going to steal the coal out. And there it is. That seemed like that was longer than 5 seconds, but there we go. Alchemical sulfur for nether star. So there is that. And both of those need to... Okay. So we have done... we've played with both of those. We're generating our fluid. We've played with these. This is going to be problematic if I do not figure out a way to take care of that. Well, I will work that out. All right, so there is all of that. That is all functional. This is all functional. And so the last piece of it is this, which is, again, you need heat. And, this is the incubator. And these vessels that we have, it's basically tanks for this. So we have 3 of them. We've got salt, which is, we made the salts. So that's there. And then we have the mercury, which we did, and which, oh, here's more salt, which we can put in. Is this, what kind of salt is this? I think this is creatures, yeah. Let's put the strata in here. And then we can put our mercury. In here. And then I go around. And then the last thing is our sulfur. And those are the things we created over here, which is all of these various things, these various sulfurs. So we just created one for another star. And yeah, so that's where all these come into play. And I think we are now, oh, let's get these done. The mercury item. Am I not? The 2 sticks. So, and I just put all my mercury in here. Out of the way, dude. Okay, this is an inserter. This is an extractor. It looks like they are universal, so you can, if you have an extractor, you can make it into an inserter, so you don't have to keep changing the recipe around. If you need, say, 4 of these, you can use one recipe to make 4 inserters, and then take 2 of the inserters and flip them over to extractors, because these flip-flop back and forth, which is handy. So if I wanted to, let's see, where is my wire? Okay, let's say, for example, let me get a barrel. Oh, actually, let me claim my quest here. And this is, oh, this is the last one. Sulfuric. Let's do this flux. This other one. Oh, I'm not here. Sure. Let's do zinc. Alright, I think that gets... Okay, that's the last one, it looks like. And this one. I need a precious... Okay, I'll have to see what I've got there. Probably the nether star would work. Although diamond would probably be better. Alright, so if I get a barrel, So I put a barrel, it doesn't matter where. Let me, just for distance, let me put it over here. All right, so I want to extract from here, and I want to insert into here. And they're tipped. It's red and green tips. If you can see the color differences. If you can't, this one is extracting, and this one is inserting. And so I'm going to click here and click here, and there we go. I have my wire. And that was a right click. So these are now connected. Now if this works, if I put some sulfur in here, it disappeared and it should now be there, and it is. So that's how these work. The actual, where are they at? These allow you to connect like multiple wires. So this is important later on when you're doing getting rid of these and trying to use power instead, to be able to get the power to get dispersed out to the various machines. So that's important in that regard. Let's see what else. I think this might be it for this episode. It's a little bit bigger setup than I thought it was going to be, but at least it all fits here. This is kind of the magic area. I hope you found it interesting and learned from my learning the mod. If you did enjoy it, please like and subscribe. It helps me get out more content. And if you have any comments, you can leave them below. I do read and reply to everything. Thank you very much for joining me on this Crafttoria Let's Play all about Theurgy. Have a good one. Take care. Cuberized out.